this. That's just Peter. You killed my mule. You killed my mule.
You killed my mother.
Prepare to die.
Prepare to die.
Coyotes. Oh, got him with the distraction.
Okay, so a little update here. We got the frost wall poured, backfilled, and the radon rock in. Our drainage rock is in, and we're going to start doing our next couple of courses for the basement walls today. So in Saskatchewan, we've got a lot of uranium in the dirt, in the earth underground, and when it degrades, it releases radon gas, and we're one of the hot spots in the world for that. When it gets to high concentrations in your house, it can start causing health problems, lung cancer and other things. So what you do here now by code is you install this this river rock. It's got to be this, this particular stuff. You pay a lot of money for it because it's got to be this way. But what it does, it leaves room for that radon gas to collect under the slab, and you can install, if need be later, a pipe down there, and it's going to end up right in the middle of the house here somewhere. And what it'll do, if need be later, you install a fan on it, and it'll create negative pressure under your slab, and it'll draw all the radon gas up out of your house before it gets in. I don't think we're going to have that problem here with this yellow clay we've got that we're building in, but it's code now, so there it is. The rock on the outside of the footing here, it covers up the weeping tile, and then you backfill this with your native soil, like whatever's around here. This will be covered with that. But this rock gives space for the water to get into your weeping tile. And then it's installed all the way around here, all around the edges. And it comes into the house. It might be buried now, but it comes into the house in this corner, and there will be a sump pit here where all that water will collect, and it'll be on a float switch. So when it's full of water, it pumps it out. When it's empty, it just sits there. Again, I don't think we're gonna have a problem with that in the soil we're in here, and we're kind of up in the high part of the yard, as high as it gets in Saskatchewan. We're pretty flat here. But what else can we say? The pour went really well. We've got all our dowels installed here. This is what ties this pour to the next pour. We put these pieces of rebar in here, and that's about it. So we'll talk some more when we start building the ICF.
Just getting ready to start building our basement walls. I got all our rebar laid out and just starting to get corners placed, and then we'll be working on our basement walls. So this is the back wall, and it doesn't need to be an 8-inch core because it's our walkout wall. So it actually is getting sized down to a 6-inch wall. So that row on the frost wall there, that's the taper top, and then the basement floor actually sits right on here. So it'll be concrete poured on top of that. And then the rest of the back wall is just a 6-inch core. And then where it meets the regular floor, that turns, or where it meets the other walls for the basement, it turns back into 8-inch all the way around.
Course of our basement wall just about finished up here. We still have the rebar to tie and the form lock to install, but we've got it all laid out and cut, and our common seams kind of established. If you want to come and take a look here, you can see how it all goes together. Let's straighten this out a bit. But everywhere there's a joint with factory edges, you could use these stainless steel clips to hold it together. And when you start from the corners, sometimes it just works out this way that you don't need a common seam. You could end up with a factory clip at both ends. So it's kind of nice when that happens, saves a little bit of work. And they just hook in here and hook in there, just push down that easy. And on the first course, you install them on the top and the bottom of the web. The bottom ones are a little tougher to get in, but they're not too bad. Just get them in there, and they just snap up. Pull up like that. See how much that's stiffened it up. But usually between the walls, what's going to happen is this here, where you work in from both corners, and you kind of choose your spot based on where windows and that sort of thing end up, but you'll end up with your common seam. And you just use any kind of lumber, plywood, 2x4s, whatever, and you strap it together that way. So right here, we had a 8-inch wall. Oh, we're missing some clips here. We'll get those installed. See how how that moves? That does not. So that's what those clips do for you. But right here, this is kind of a special corner. We had to modify this because it's an 8-inch wall this way, and the front wall of our walkout is only a 6-inch wall. So there's a little bit of a procedure to do that, but you need an 8-inch and a 6-inch corner, and you cut a couple of pieces. I'll show you on the other end how that works so you can see it a little bit better. But you cut a piece out, and come around here, please, videographer. And so we cut 2 inches out of this corner here, and that moved this part of the form 2 inches this way. And then if we walk over to the other side here, that 2-inch piece that we cut out of the other side gets installed here. So what that does, when we cut this 6-inch form and we install this 2-inch piece that we cut out of the other form, and that moves this 2 inches out. So that modifies this corner this way, and that one got modified the other way. So we need an 8-inch and a 6-inch corner, and we trade pieces and you make it work. And it's pretty slick how that comes together. So an 8-inch wall here into a 6-inch wall here. So the way the rebar works in these, there's this web here. It's got a few different slots that you can use. On the bottom course here, what we're doing is we're snapping this rebar into that first hole. Then on this upper course here, what we'll do is we'll snap it into this inner hole, just like that. Well, like that. And what that does is that leaves a space right in between them like that for your verticals to fit in. So we just alternate back and forth as we work up the wall, and that leaves that nice slot for this thing to fit in there. And at every corner, we've got these corner bars pre-bent for us, make life easy. And they're gonna fit on there just like that to tie the corners together. And you tie that with your loop ties, just regular old rebar ties. You can still see the dowels poking up from our previous pour. These are 4-foot dowels. They're embedded 2 feet. They're wet set into the top of the last course of blocks. And that ties the frost wall to the basement wall here. And that'll keep anything from moving, anything from shifting. And if you look down here, we intentionally left the top of this concrete quite rough, like just however it was poured and however we threw it in there, we left it. And that makes that cold seam adhere a little bit better when it's rough like that. A little bit more to bite into, so it holds everything together. What else can we say? We're just gonna keep tying rebar and get our form lock installed, and maybe once we start doing the tops of these forms, we'll talk again. So, if you look up the wall here, you'll see it's got a little bit of a wow to it. Now you take this stuff here, it's called form lock. Nice rigid bars. And you snap it in here between the ties. You gotta be a little rough with it. And that keeps everything nice and stiff and rigid and straight.
They're all done on the inside. I just need 3 more. All right, sir. Let's take a look at it here. Right here.
What you doing there, babe?
Well, now that we've got all of our walls completed, our steel tied, our form lock in, everything leveled with a laser. Now, this is kind of the last step before you start standing the third course. You get everything glued down with this foam. So it'll fill in the spaces between these nubs and footing, and stops the wall from floating up and stops the concrete from spilling out. And that's how she goes. Well, it's springtime in Saskatchewan, I guess. It's April. So that means you either get plus 20-degree weather or you get a blizzard. And everything is covered in snow and wet all over again. So this has kind of put the brakes on our project for the whole week here, basically. Spent a little bit of time building the window bucks and the door buck for the basement walls here. And before we packed it in last time, Dad and I, we covered up the walls as best we could because we knew the snow was coming. And I've kind of come out here to survey our situation. Shit. That's not good. Shoot, I should say. That's not good. Family friendly. Oh boy. Can't pour concrete in that, can we? Oh. Got some work to do. So we had all that snow blow into the forms in that bad storm the other day. So what we did about it is we took a gas-powered leaf blower and just blew a bunch of warm air down to the bottom of the forms and melted it all. So that was full pretty much right to the top the other day. Pretty much all good now. We have a few spots left. See if I can find one here. Yeah, right here. There's a little bit of snow left in the bottom there. But if we get that leaf blower going again, another half hour, an hour or so, should be good. But we listened to that stupid thing all day yesterday. Yeah, so that's that. So we had a pretty good day yesterday. The camera died on me before I got to show you all the bracing and stuff and how that went up. Well, basically all we have is the tracks up right now. But we got our third course all set and our windows and doors established here. Got the door buck in. It's a pretty big door. All of our windows and doors have a little transom window, a 16-inch window at the top of them, so they look really tall. But that's what it looks like in place. We've drilled these holes in the bottom, and that will allow us to get the concrete down there and vibrate it correctly. So it was really nice out yesterday. It was like 15 or 17 degrees or something like that. And today it's back down to -2 and windy and crappy, so it's not going to be quite so nice. But we got to roll with the punches, right? So yeah. A little bit how I built these windows and door bucks. These are for the bedroom window, the two bedrooms, these two bucks here in the basement. And those walls are 8-inch cores. So this is a 2x12. I guess 2x12s only measure 11¼ inches now. That's 12 inches. And our walls are 13¼ so we had to add a 2-inch piece here to make up that distance. We also pound these nails in here, and what that does, that gives something for the concrete to grab onto once you pour the concrete in there. It'll infill around here and it'll seal that in there, and this buck will never move. So we also had to add, to hold the concrete pressure, the weight of the concrete from bowing this in or this down, we had to add all this bracing in here. And doing that will it'll hold it all in place when we vibrate it, because that concrete is very, very heavy. Especially when you vibrate it, it'll move anything that's got any give to it. It'll bow these bucks in. We walked through a house on the north side of Regina who they had built their place at ICF, so we were real curious when we were doing our research. And we went and walked around in there, and when they did theirs, they didn't reinforce their bucks properly. And you could see they're like, when they put their windows in, they're gonna have problems in there because they didn't support them correctly. So they may even have had to reorder their windows because they might not have fit. So I haven't gone back over there since, but we're not going to have that problem. So that's our windows and door bucks. Saturday morning. It's another nice day out. There's no wind again. Nice and sunny. It's supposed to get to like 8 degrees today. Should be a good day to get some work done. Yesterday we got these window bucks in. Everything went real smooth. They were square and level right when we stuck them in there, so no real surprises. It was good. So the front, or I guess this is the back of the house. The back windows are all done now. We've just got the 2 bedrooms in the back there to do yet. So we'll tackle those today. My brother Adam is coming to give us a hand today, so that should be good. We'll get lots of work done here. Should be able to pretty much get this wrapped up today.
That's it for now. Stay tuned for next episode for Pouring Concrete. Bye.